It's time to go to example number 3. This will be really cool because we're going to use market data to generate a config for a grid strike controller. It's a controller that just runs a grid on a market. Based on the candlesticks, we're going to define the limits and deploy the bot with that. So let's get started. I think that would be worth to start with a notebook first, because to understand how to do the market data transformations. We're obviously going to use ChatGPT, but it will be really nice to test it here in the notebook a little bit, so we know that is what we are looking for. So first of all, let's create the file. Let's call it example 3 grid automatic grid deploy. Let's call it like this, and let's put it like here. Let's go to ChatGPT and say, can you create a function that based on an ID, ID trading pair, start price, and price, limit price, updates this YAML in a form of dictionary that we need to send to an API. So this is a base control config that I have for the grid strike. As you can see, there are some parameters here to define. I will be also nice to add the side. I will tell you to add the side too. But well, this is like a base config that we have. The interesting thing will be to only update the start price, the end price, and the limit price. Leave the other parameters as defaults. Based on the grid, we're going to upload that. So I will tell also please let me configure the side. Perfect. Well, while it's working, let's go to the market data. Let's run this part. So we see get the candles. Let's continue to train on ERA, that I like it. Let's get the candles in 1 second, and let's get, I don't know, 2,000 candles. So it will be like a kind of how is 2,000 divided by 60 seconds is 30 minutes. Okay, so if we run this, what is going to happen? Binance Perpetual does not have 1 second. It's only for Binance Spot 1 second. But well, let's use it for Binance. But no, Binance Spot is very different right now, the price. Let's use 1 minute, and let's use Binance Perpetual. Let's use 1 minute, and let's use the last 60 minutes, last hour, to get the information. Binance Perpetual. Missing. Connector name. Sorry. Here I'm putting connector in its connector name. Unexpected keyword argument. Oh yeah, there is an error here. It's not updated. This one was not updated. Nice. I will push the changes with these two. Connector name. Connector name. Connector name. And these candles here will be connector name. This is an error in the library that I forgot to update that route. Got unexpected. Okay, connector name, perfect. Let me rerun this. Perfect. Now it's working. Remember, the first time took 1 second. Check now. 20 milliseconds, 60 milliseconds, 70 milliseconds. Why? Because the first time, as I mentioned in other videos, we are getting the first message via WebSocket, the rest of the messages via REST, and loading that in memory. Now when this is running, is catching or is using the same field. You see the last access time, the seconds since access, and how much time it has until it will expire. So if we call it again, you see that, boom, it will expire in this amount of seconds. But if we run it again, boom, you see that it's renewed. So it's like a nice model in case that we would like to keep something in memory that we're going to use a little bit. Obviously, that if you use this inside of Hummingbot, it's much more faster, this update time, because you don't need to connect two services to run. You're going to be just running all the time, right? So, well, I don't know if I have Plotly here. Install import Plotly. No, it's not. Let's install it here. Pip install Plotly, and I will tell well, now let's tell ChatGPT I have a candles object with this response structure. I have, let me put here like I want to plot with Plotly go a candlestick chart plus extract the close, the low and high values, the close, low and high values to determine an aggressive and conservative grid for the specific pair. Also will be important to understand that the grid can be long or short, and the start price is always lower than the end price, but the limit price will be lower if the side is buy, or higher if the side is sell. Lower than start price and higher than end price. This means that the grid will always have like start and end price, like starts always being lower than end price. But the limit price, that is when you have like a stop loss with price, or you decide to keep a position, depending if the configuration is in keep position equal to true, will be lower if it's a long grid, and will be higher if it's a sell grid, right? I will say, please add these values as horizontal lines to the graph. I will say, don't use pandas, just use a simple list manipulation to determine the limits. Okay, I tell to don't use pandas because UV, I don't know why, has some issues by installing it in this environment. So well, let's use it in that way. So it will be ready soon. The work is ready, so let me now copy this. I will go here and I will just remove these candles and run to see what is showing. Perfect. Seems like the aggressive and the conservative is almost the same. So yeah, I will tell let's call it, I don't want to do everything there. Aggressive. For the aggressive, let's take only the last yeah, like that, minus 20 records, and that will be more aggressive, I think. Perfect. This is aggressive. And it's also showing the limit price. The limit price is the same for the two of them. Is 1%. Read lines. So this will be limit price aggressive, aggressive low, aggressive high. This is not necessary. On limit, it will be limit price conservative. Perfect. And this will be limit price aggressive. And here we should grid lines. Where is, okay, let's see now. Invalid syntax. Perfect. We forgot a comma here, don't worry. Perfect. We have all these values that are a little bit difficult to see, but well, it's what we have. Perfect. Now, will be nice. Let's copy this code and send it back to ChatGPT. We are okay with this thing. So now I will tell you this is the refactored code. Now I want to implement this, but in a Python file. So I will just I won't need the graphs, but I would like to pick a different side for the aggressive and the conservative grids. As you can see in the image, the aggressive can be a long grid and the conservative a short grid. So let's copy this image to ChatGPT. Let's put just to put something different. I would say create a function that based on the candles and this other function that you created, we have as a result the two configs to deploy. Okay, now what I'm saying is, okay, I like this, but let's try to pick two different sites. I'm also saying, can you use this function that you created to determine the config in the way that we need? Well, it's working. So now we're going to see if it's actually doing what we want. We copy this function. We didn't copy the function yet. So is the function here? No. Let's copy this function that is create grid strategy config. So let's copy the function here. Perfect. Now let's copy the other one. That is the one that we just received here. And now let's call that function aggressive conservative. This would be like this. The pair in this case is era. Perfect. Aggressive grid, conservative grid. Well, seems like it's doing the work. So we are ready to now write our program that will do it automatically. Let's start with the code example. So now let's copy this to the example number 3. Let's remove the things that we are not going to use. This new function will be create grid configs and deploy bots. So let's delete all this stuff. Perfect. This interval, let's keep it in case that we need to wait something. And let's copy the new functions that we just created here. This is the one that we are going to use later on. So this will be like the last part. Let's define here. Let's pass also the trading pair. And this trading pair will be era. Trading pair. Let's paste the function here. That this is the generate aggressive and conservative grid. And we also need to copy this one, that is the create grid config that we have here. Is this one. So let's copy this one too. I hope that works, guys, because I spend a lot of time and it should work. So the other thing that we need to do is to get the candles. So candles, the first thing is get the candles. Get candles, and this will be 1 minute. This interval is not for this. We said that we're going to get max records. We said that we are getting 60 minutes, 1 hour. Perfect. Aggressive and conservative configs, perfect. And then what we need to do is to upload the configs to the Hummingbot API. So await hbot client controllers. This is a controller config. Update. No. Create or update controller. And this is controller config. What we need. Config name is the aggressive. This will be the ID, and the config is this one. And then we need to update the conservative, to upload the conservative. And now let's just see what if we are getting the available configs. Let's see if they are like get controller configs, or list controller configs. Let's print this. Let's do this just to see if it's actually working. So available controller configs. So okay, seems like it's working properly. And it uploaded the configs that we want. Now the last step will be deploying the bot for this. So the last line that we need to run is await hbot client dot bot orchestration dot deploy b2 with controllers. Instance name, let's call it double grid bot. Credentials profile, this will be master account. Controller configs, this will be these configs that we just determined here. Then macro down, this is okay. What is the error here? Unexpected argument. Config, perfect. So with this line, it should be working. Now what we can do is to get the state of the bot, of the active bots. So let's run here now after we deploy the bots, while true. Perfect. Bot name, get bot status. I think that there is one to get all the bot status. So hbot client dot bot orchestration dot get active bot status. I think that this one is just what we want, but this one will get just that. So it's okay. Perfect. Well, it's time to run it and see what is happening, if it's okay or not. Let's put the report status every 5 seconds and let's run it. We can also see the containers that are running here. Oh, seems like it's deployed the bot, so really nice. We have the bot deployed. Now we can attach it, and bot status is stopped, so it didn't start it. Starting now, we have the logs here, so we can see the logs also. It's maybe the bot is maybe starting, or maybe there is an error with the config that we are not catching. But well, the good thing is that we were able to deploy the bot. If we open another terminal, let me open a new one here and run docker ps-a. You can see this instance that is running. Docker attach this. Well, the error is a validation error on the side. Well, this was expected. We just used ChatGPT to create the config. So don't worry, we can just go here and run this process again, but seeing the function that is side is equal to side, and the side is an integer. And what side we passed? Aggressive side, aggressive side. One. Okay, this was 2. Perfect. That was the error, but we also need to see where this is used. Okay, this is here, so but perfect. This is okay. Don't worry for this. So well, let's run it again. Let's see. No. It uploaded the config again. It will update the config. Is I create an update the method, so we'll update the config. It's running. Oh, okay, it's trading already. So if we go to Binance, we should see, yeah, the bot is trading already. So that's really nice. So as you can see, we have a long and a short grid trading here, as we were expecting. Well, the short seems like it's capturing more like the trade activity. So here we can see the status, the performance on realized P&L and unrealized P&L, the volume traded. Well, this is not like well formatted here, but you can format it as you want, basically. And you are receiving these messages like in real time. Well, not in real time because yeah, it's in real time. It has like 1 second setup. The message sending, but here we are posting them every 5 seconds. Well, the only client that we have right now to see this is the dashboard that is in Streamlit. It's not so nice, but soon we are thinking about adding a kind of UI built in React, but more like Asian first. So be ready because something cool is coming. Well, this was the example of how you can deploy a bot with a config just like that. I think that is really cool. Well, I hope that this helps you and gives you some inspiration for what you can build now with Hummingbot API. Seems like we are trading very hard because the market is really volatile. But well, it's like this is just a tiny example. Please don't deploy too much capital on this config, please. So well. See you in the next example.